Hey guys, welcome back, Profit Takers. So we're gonna recap today. I'm gonna go over Nasdaq and the DJ. Okay. Right now we're looking at Nasdaq. So I wanted to talk about what happened since Friday until today's trade, and how we got here. Right. So some of the things, guys, that you want to consider and make sure that you're making note of is on Friday. Remember, this was a three previous day setup, right? We had, oh, shoot. Let me get my pen. Sorry. On Friday, it was a three previous day high setup, guys, which means we can expect the next day reversal, right? So let's see. We had a low, peak low here, which you probably can't see. Let me make this to where you can see. 1 second. Okay, we'll start again. All right. So this was the first low. This was the first peak low. And then here is where it reset. Okay. Peak low reset. Okay. And then we had the high, right? So clearly, Wednesday broke the high, right? Thursday broke the other previous day high. And then Friday we had the high broken. So the indicator was showing 3 and 3, the 33 trade, right? So usually you can get a reversal and a trend trade all in one day when you see that setup. And then most of the time you can also see where price actually, the whole trend changes. But one thing that did happen here on Friday that I forgot to mention, we had where price hit the previous day highs and lows, both sides of the range. I hit it both sides. That's a day zero. It's a reset day. It's also known as an outside day. So when Monday came, I really wasn't sure what was going to happen. Right? I was like, well, we just got to wait and see. Okay, if this thing breaks the low, the previous day low right here, then maybe we're on to something going short, right? If it breaks the previous day, the high, right, then we're going long, right? But it didn't do anything. It just stayed inside of the range. But it did close above the open price, right? I did make note of that, just, a side note. And so with that, I did my little measurement, put my little area here for, support or resistance. And, it actually played out, right? Now these things don't always play out, but isn't it great when they actually play out? You know what I mean? So now with that knowledge, we came to go to Trading View and let's look at the NASDAQ real quick. Okay. So we're expecting to go long. Now, what gave it away for me is when prices dumped before the open or right at the open, right? Sometimes it could be, before the open. And I'll show you the example in the DJ. But this was a perfect dump and pump trade right at 8:30. This is that 8:30 right here. Okay, perfect. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. So we drew this was the low, the initial low of the day. And this other line here was the high of the day. Okay. We get to, this is now M5. So the market opens and it completely it dumps, right? And guess what? Right at 9 o'clock, we're getting our entry. Okay. We're getting our entry. This is M3. We are getting our entry and we take that thing all the way to, you can use the high of day, the initial high of day, which is this one, or you can go to the next level, which is this one. Now, once it got up to this area, this was like the previous day area. at that point we exited the trade because who knows what was going to happen at that point, right? Um, if you if you hung around and waited for this thing to make a decision, because once it did this short trade, this short here, this reversal, or retracement, it was back up, right? It was back up. So I don't know if you were sitting around here for this trade all day, or all morning rather, because this started to show up trending at 12. And I did make a note. I made a note that 9 o'clock today and at 12 we had the trend. Because tomorrow we're going to have a bunch of news. And I'm just going to pay attention to those times. And as for right now, these market makers, these guys are like doing us a huge favor, right? I mean, you can't ask for anything. You can't ask for anything more than that, right? So now we are in breakout. Okay. We are in breakout, guys. Price obviously closed above, the range. Okay. And all it has to do is either continue to stay in breakout or fail. Hopefully it will stay in breakout. But again, we have news tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen if it's going to fail. Let me put now I do this stuff manually, even though the indicator shows the previous day high and low. I like to highlight it, and it only shows it for the day. Like right now it's Wednesday, right? In the markets, it's still Tuesday, but it's Wednesday. So I'm just going to mark this area because guess what? This can come, whatever happens with news tomorrow, right? Hopefully it stays above and it continues to go. We get to 280R, right? That will be obviously ideal. However, breakouts can fail and then it can come up to this level and then it can break down. Okay, just be aware of that. If it breaks through this and stays underneath there, then you need to change your mind. Okay, now let's go to DJ. DJ's pretty similar. Same thing happened. 3 previous day breaks. We were expecting, prices to reverse, which they did. And usually when that happens, oftentimes we do get a trend trade, a trend reversal. Now with this one is slightly different. I'm just a little bit more going to be cautious to see if this is going to be just a peak low, or, I don't know yet, because it did create this low and extend the range, right? But it did close back inside of the range. So we just now have to wait to see if they're going to, do something like that. Hold on. Because what I like to do if this is really a first red day, this is what I like to do. I like to just measure the high and low, and then I'll just mark it. And this area is going to be a telltale sign on whether or not we get support or resistance. It could come down to here and then continue to break down and break the low. And then of course we know we are going short, right? Or it can come to this level, get support and break up. Okay. That's really it. I just wanted to make sure we point that out. So I'm not sure 100% yet if it's going to be a true first red day or a safety trade for the trend trade. I'm not sure. But you notice today, price got, this one, it hit the high like multiple times. When you see that and it's fallen from the freaking high of the day in the Asia London session, know that when you're coming into, let me go to, when you're coming into the New York session, this is a low hanging fruit trade. Low hanging fruit is on page 97 of the Stacy Berg playbook. Okay. So don't worry if you miss this. Like, don't feel any kind of way. I used to feel some kind of way. I used to I used to enter shorts at lows of the days. Yeah, I used to do that because I thought I was missing something. I thought I was missing out and I missed a trade or whatever because I wasn't in here trying to trade 8:30. I don't know about y'all, but I don't really care to trade right at 8:30 sometimes. I just want to wait. I want to wait. And with this 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, your third hour trade, I mean, you just can't go wrong. Okay. So we can see here that right at 9 o'clock, and this is the 15-minute chart. Let me go down to, excuse me, guys. I just started sneezing all of a sudden. Okay. So this was, this is now 3 minutes. I go from the three to the one, whatever is clear for me. And we can see that right at the time that I'm looking to get in, it's already starting to reverse and go up. So I was in this trade. I believe this was like a major previous day low level. So when it got up here, it just kind of hung around for a little bit. So I exited the trade and I was like, I'll just wait to see if it's going to do anything else. And then lo and behold, it did around 12:30. And so I just made that note that at 12 o'clock, it did start to trend again. Now, yesterday, it was at 11. So around 11, it was reversing, right? When that reverse stopped and, started to go sideways, I knew something else was coming. So the 12 o'clock time frame was when it was going to continue on up. Okay. So again, this thing closed back inside. All right. It broke out and then it closed inside. So it's almost giving me the indication that we may still continue to go long, but I won't know. We got to see how the market behaves tomorrow. And then like I said, we have a ton of news. So really don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to have to wait and see. Gold. I am looking to take this one long if it does present a trade because it closed out of balance on Friday, but I mean it pinned this low right there, but it didn't count. It didn't really take out the low to make it like it didn't take out the low, but nonetheless, if it doesn't take it out and it continues, then okay, they might still, be trying to build this up for the pump and then a huge dump, right? That could also happen, right? So just keep in mind, look out for that because of that high. Okay. So it could come up to the 180R. It can come up to my favorite 16, whatever, 18, right? It can come up all the way up here. But if it crosses 180R and continues up, then obviously we need to change our mind. But as for right now, it still looks like it could possibly go up. And I did draw this line here from this low because that low could be the support, or it could be the resistance. Okay. But look, the way it's looking now, it looks like it could be support. But again, it's too soon for me to tell. We just have to kind of wait and see. All right, guys, that is all I have for you all right now. We will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.